Good evening, everybody. We'll start with today's session after a gap of a day. The day before yesterday, we have spent nearly about 2 lectures on the aphorism number 208. And in fact, it is the aphorism which is having a lot of meaning. The aphorism which exactly mentions what Hahnemann wants to explain about the state of his disposition, which exactly gives an idea what is the difference between mind and state of his disposition, and which how to perceive this state of disposition, that with many examples we have discussed in 2 lectures. In fact, with which it becomes quite easy to catch the remedy, to come to the conclusion. And that's why the state of the person, which is necessary to be observed, pursued, and find it out a right rubric for the case, is a very important task. And that's what he has explained over there. Whatever may be the chronic disease which you are treating, the 7 important points in order to investigate the fundamental cause, those are very much necessary, which guides you towards the miasmatic background. At the same time, the state of his disposition and mind should be taken into consideration, and that's what Hahnemann have explained. The 7 points which he has already mentioned in the 5th aphorism: the ascertainable physical constitution, his moral and intellectual character, his occupation, the mode of living and habits, his social and domestic relations, his age, and the sexual functions. These are all points which one has to take into consideration when you are dealing with any chronic case, any variety of chronic case. These are the points which guides you to understand that human being. And along with that, he has added the state of disposition and mind. And one must understand this. Those who have not present in last 2 lectures, my suggestion, go through the videos. I'm uploading them. Tomorrow, most probably, I will upload those videos and go through that again so that you can understand it in a better manner. So we have finished up to the aphorism number 208. Today, we're going to highlight only one aphorism, 209. Because from 210 aphorism, the mental diseases and homeopathic management of mental diseases starts. And those were very much necessary to be understood by everyone. For everybody, those aphorisms are very, very essential. So today we'll finish only one, 209. We'll have a query session. And from tomorrow, not tomorrow, that means directly on Tuesday, there will be lecture. Because on the Hahnemann day, I was not there in, I'm not there in Sangamner. I'm at Shirpur conducting the seminar, and that's why Monday session will not be there. So for that purpose, we'll start directly on Tuesday with the aphorism number 210. So let us see what he wants to explain in 209. After this is done, that means after finishing your case taking, the physician should endeavor म्हणजे तो प्रयत्न करणे. The physician should endeavor in repeated conversations with the patient to trace the picture of his disease as completely as possible, according to the directions given above, in order to be able to elucidate the most striking and peculiar in bracket characteristic symptoms, in accordance with which he selects the first antisoric remedy or the other remedy having greatest symptomatic resemblance for the commencement of the treatment, and so forth. What he is explaining over there is very, very, very important. In fact, the whole case, if it is chronic one, revolves around this aphorism. When you are dealing with the patient, generally a patient who is suffering from chronic disease presents with very vague features. He comes to you, he explains, yes, doctor, I am having stress, tension, and I am having, I don't feel that to live and all those things, but he never gives you exactly the details. He complains, I'm having pain in abdomen, I'm having headache, I'm having pain in chest, I don't know why it is happening. But it doesn't have a meaning to you. You cannot prescribe on this data. Just an example I will tell you. Day before yesterday, a lady, she came. I was knowing her. She was my regular patient, but she is undergoing lot of stress since last one and last 2 years. And what happened? She used to send her son every time to collect the medicine, and her symptoms were every time vague. I'm having pain in abdomen, I'm having acidity, and all those symptoms she used to tell. And all those features were the reflection of the stress over there in her mind. But she was not able to communicate what exactly the stress is there. Luckily, on that day, she has expressed each and everything. She came alone and she expressed everything. And then she expressed in the similar manner, Doctor, I'm having the severe pain in chest, I'm having lot of tension, I'm having. Then when asked what is the problem, is there any stress exactly, and can you open it, explain it? And then she started explaining that my husband never supports me. Last 2 3 years, I'm undergoing very much financial stress, and he's not at all supporting me. In fact, he is troubling me a lot. He says that you have done the problem, you do yourself. I will not going to support. And she felt so disturbed that she was absolutely in a lost phase. She said, Doctor, I feel that I don't want to see his face. I'm feeling that I have lost my battle. Her face was showing, yes, I lost my battle. मला वाटतं आता संपलं सगळं डॉक्टर. आता काय मला नाही वाटत. माझ्यात हिंमत नाही राहील to fight with the situation. That was her feeling. And then she explained each and everything, that she is having a lot of financial stress. She was a pygmy agent, and that for one company, and that company lost, and all the people who have invested over there, and they are coming and troubling her because she was the agent of that, and she's in a tremendous stress, and her husband also never supports her. So the feeling, what is the rubric which will come in such case, is in such situation? You have to catch this. Then your prescription works. What is the feeling behind that? If anyone comes to you in lost battle, and that is patient talks in that sense, Doctor, I don't think now anything is remaining. I think I have lost everything. I don't think I will get cured. Despair is a very big rubric, Nikita. It is a very big rubric. If you open repertory, you have many more remedies. Yes, despair is state, but despair, out of despair, what is that which is expressing the patient's nature? The rubric is disconcerted. Disconcerted. And if you open the Kent's repertory, there are only two remedies. One is Ignatia, another is Bromium. Disconcerted. Disconcerted means complete loss of battle. Absolutely, they have lost the battle. That is what is the disconcerted feeling. So I got that when I asked the detail regarding all those things again and again in order to get a right state. 2 days back, this has happened. I have given her Ignatia 10 m, 3 doses, and 2 days she came for follow-up. Absolutely changed. Just now, 2 hours back, she had a follow-up, and she was absolutely changed completely. She says, Doctor, it is only because of you I am alive. She was so happy. Whole stress has dissolved. The problem is still there, but she has taken it in a positive way. The change, total state is changed. Unless and until you get such a characteristic, it is not possible to reach to the right remedy. You have to take into consideration each and every aspect, and that's why he explains in this aphorism that when you are dealing with the patient, after finishing their narration, it is your duty to go with their symptoms again and find it out exactly to make it complete. If the symptom is vaguely explained, ask him exact location, ask him exact sensation, ask him exact modality, ask him exact concomitant, so that you can get a right totality. Then it is possible to reach to a complete picture which you can match with your patient's complaints, which you can match with your remedies. It is not possible without that. So in order to complete and furnish the whole picture, it is too much necessary to go through that. And this is what he wants to explain, that after this is done, the physician should endeavor to repeat in repeated conversation. So you have to repeat again and again, deal with the patient. Show him that you have not understood what he is saying. Then patient starts again and again, he gives you exactly the data which is necessary for it, for the prescription. With repeated conversations with the patient to trace the picture of his disease as completely as possible. The words are very important, as completely as possible. Yes, trial remedy was given Ignatia to her case. So as completely as possible means what? Make your level best, try your level best to make it fully complete so that you can get exactly the remedy feel. The feel of the remedy is very important. Then it is very much easy to get what you desire. If you give remedies to the patient in such a manner on the basis of whole understanding of the case, the core of the case, then it becomes rather simple to find it out results with the patient. So detailing is always important, and for that purpose, you must be a you must have good conversation with the patient. A rapport with the patient plays a very vital role, and that is nothing but the communication skill. You have to touch the patient's emotions. You have to catch the patient's attention and mind. And he should feel that you are really interested in his case. If patient feels that you are really interested in his problem, then patient will going to give all the details. Then he will furnish the whole case, which is very important in order to find it out a right simile. And this is what he is explaining over there, that as completely as possible according to the directions given above. So whatever the all things which he has mentioned already, that how to approach with the chronic cases, all things. So the directions given above in order to be able to elucidate most striking and peculiar characteristic symptoms. What you need is peculiar characteristic symptoms, striking symptoms. Vague symptoms never forms your totality, not at all. You require characteristic totality with which it is possible to reach to the right remedy. And for that purpose, it is very much necessary to understand what the patient exactly wants to explain and express. So patient will narrate each and everything if you do a good conversation with him. Many examples we can take on about this. I will tell you another story. Patient comes to you with the one example. I will tell you very simple example which I have seen on that day. The person who was doing law at a very good college, hi-fi college. Constitution was patient constitution. Patient entered new case. Patient was sitting outside my inside my waiting room. And I was observing him over there through the camera. He was any person who is doing law in a good college and wants to be a lawyer. Simple thing is that he should have a lawyer's attitude. We have in our mind certain concepts about the lawyer. But when he entered in my clinic, I felt that he is the person who is not at all liable to do a law with his conversation, with his personal appearance. It as if he was doing any art. He is from art faculty, and there were a lot of things. His face, he's not, the hairs were not combed properly, and his face was totally oily, greasy, not at all looking good. So see, this everything matters. You have every person have their own identity. Every profession have their own identity, and that is that type of thought is always there with everyone's mind. And if it is not to the point, you have to catch it. You have to perceive it. In fact, so it's too easy for me to find it out what he is suffering from. He was suffering from chronic cough since last 3 4 months, and he used to remain over there in Delhi, and he suffered a lot from cough every time at night, specifically in the early in the morning at 4 to 5 a.m. Earlier also, when he was a child, he was my patient 10 years back to 2014. Thereafter, he returned directly in 2023. So at that time also, he had a chronic bronchitis. So my prescription was very simple looking at him. Then I discussed all those things. He said each and everything what is going on in his life, and he is involved in one um, relationship, and he is deeply involved in that one, and because of which that is the whole world for him. So there were two elements which were coming together, and when I repertorized, and those were one after another, and that is the one part is covered with the sulfuricum, indifference to the personal appearance. At the same time, element which is related with the natrum. Natrum self is a very perfect remedy for that. So you get that feel when you make a good conversation. So you have to understand all those things. You have to understand these features of the patient. Natrum self is having 4 to 5 a.m. aggravation. Natrum self is having greenish type of curve or expectoration. Natrum self never likes a music because natrum element is there. But sulfur produces egotism over there. So this, and he had along with that a severe acid peptic trouble. It was because of natrum self. If you open the boric, the first line, it's a liver remedy. It's a liver remedy. It has directly action over there in the liver pathology. It is a hydrogenide constitution in natrum self. So a remedy for the gout, a remedy and king of antipsychotic, and such a thing. When you select on the basis of proper conversation, then you reach to the right result. Then it is possible, very easy to prescribe. So we have to understand all those depths. And Hahnemann wants it exactly. Yes, you must have a peculiar, most striking, peculiar characteristic. You can see that in natrum self, there is a, in bracket, he has written, it is a asthma in children. In respiratory, he has written asthma in children. This is very important remedy. In fact, Kent, if you read the lesser writing from the Kent has said at one place that if the patient has asthma, arsenic is only a palliative remedy. It will never cure the asthma because asthma always is psychotic in background. Arsenic is pseudosyphilitic remedy. It doesn't cover the miasmatic focus. And in order to treat, you might require many times antipsychotic that like natramsol, thuja, or medoridine. So this is what exactly Hahnemann wants to explain. You have to understand what patient is presenting and you have to understand the depth of it. And then lastly, to conclude the aphorism, what he says, striking and peculiar characteristic symptoms in accordance with which he selects the first antisoric or other remedy having greatest symptomatic resemblance. So depending upon miasm, it might be antisoric, antipsychotic, antisyphilitic. But what should be there? There should be a greatest resemblance at the level of symptoms for the commencement of treatment and so forth. So your remedy depends upon that. You start treatment on the basis of that, and then you go ahead. So he explains exactly how to deal with chronic disorders, and he has given maximum time to explain chronic disorders. I think he has started with the aphorism number 170, where he has started the um, 71 chronic diseases, homeopathic management of chronic diseases, and he has finished up to the aphorism number 209. The whole session goes around the homeopathic management of chronic diseases. And then the next part he deals with is the homeopathic management of mental disorders. Next session will spend, in fact, many more sessions will be required because many things Hahnemann have explained about the homeopathic management of mental diseases. He has classified mental diseases into 4 types and how each type one should how each type one should approach that aspect he has thoroughly explained over there. So we have to go with that also. So on Tuesday, we'll have that session and we'll start with the homeopathic management of mental diseases. For time being, few more things. On the occasion of 10th April, the Hahnemann, it is called as Hahnemann Day or World Homeopathic Day. Of all the best to all the homeopaths who are there, who are there in this session, as well as all the homeopaths all over the world. We have to follow the footsteps developed by Hahnemann. He was a person of an experimenter. He was doing many more experimentation throughout his life, right from 1779, 1789 or 90 to the his last breath. And because of which we have this enriched edition, the 6th edition of Organon of Medicine. But thereafter we missed him. We are not doing different experimentation. My suggestion to all of you is experiment more and more. And once you do experiment, then it is possible to treat. Otherwise, it is not possible to treat. So, if you want to treat properly, you must be able to go for experimentation. Find it out your own findings, write it down, and come to certain conclusion. And that will be a path, in fact, explained by Hahnemann. And that you have to follow. So all the best for all of you on the occasion of Hahnemann Day. There will be no session on 10th of April. So it is not possible to communicate with you on same day. So that's why in advance I am giving you the best wishes to all of you. And we'll stop over here. If any queries are there, we can discuss, or otherwise we'll conclude the session. Any queries?
Hello, sir.
Nisha.
Sir, while taking rubrics in software or otherwise in the repertory also, what should be the ideal sequence while taking rubrics?
Ideal sequence means That is what is called as an evaluation of the symptoms.
Okay.
Evaluation, whenever we used to solve the case, first we take the totality, then we have to analyze the totality. After analysis, you have to do the evaluation. And after evaluation, you have to form the repertorial totality. After repertorial totality, you must get the result of repertorialization. Those symptoms which are not there in the repertory are taken into another field, which is another place, which is called as potential differential field. Then result of repertorization should be compared with potential differential field at the same time with the materia medica, and then you have to reach to the right remedy. Then, if you want to learn the evaluation, I think we'll have a complete session, because evaluation, it is a big thing. First, you have to understand what is analysis, and after analysis, you have to learn the evaluation. I think whenever it is possible, after completing the Organon session, we'll go with this, those practical parts. Uh, Time being, keep it in your mind. You, whatever sequence you are following, it doesn't matter. Find it out. Whatever symptoms you are taking into consideration should be characteristic enough. Then sequence doesn't matter. Sequence matters when you are using the elimination method of repertorization, but which is not needed now because we have computerized repertory. Elimination method of repertorization was useful when we had only the books or repertories and not the software. So now there is no question of elimination method, so it doesn't matter. For time being, you do, whatever may be the sequence you repertorize, it's okay. But symptom should be a characteristic, not the vague symptoms. That's all. And I'm damn sure that I will going to take all those sessions on analysis, evaluation after completing the sixth edition of Organ of Medicine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? So once again, happy Hahnemann Day and thank you everyone. We'll meet on Tuesday.